Hello, and thank you for joining me. Today we are going to be talking about the CAS feature of GeoGebra. And so what this stands for is Computer Algebra System. And essentially this is just a feature of GeoGebra that allows you to manipulate mathematical expressions in a way that you might do on paper normally. And so one example I would show you kind of to start here is if I wanted to do, let's say, 3x plus 2. Let's make this the quantity. So we'll put parentheses. And I wanted to add this expression to the expression 5x minus 6. Okay, so I've typed in the two things that I want to add together. Now I'm just going to hit enter, and you'll see that it adds them together for me. So it has the power to kind of manipulate these things. So we've got a few different features that you can see along the top here. And this first one that we're looking at is just evaluating expressions. So when we see the equal sign, it's just going to evaluate what we have. So one example that lets you see this kind of nicely is, let's say we had the fraction 2/3. Right now, because we have it set to equal, it's going to tell us that exact value, and that exact value is 2/3. But we can also approximate it. So if we approximate, it's going to give us a numeric evaluation. So now we're no longer looking at the fraction, it's going to tell us the approximate decimal, which obviously is rounded here. Another nice feature that we have, let's say I have the number 98 and I want this number to be factored. I don't know what my prime factors are. I can click on this tool right here and let's see, is it going to factor it for me? Let's try typing a new line. Factor. Okay, there we go. So before we hit enter, we want to hit it. So we've got our 98 typed in, we hit to factor, and it's going to tell us what our prime factors are. And we can do this for any number that we want. It's going to break it down to that prime factorization. So this can be nice for finding least common multiples of two numbers, greatest common factors, and other things like that. The next tool that we have here, this tool is called expand. So basically it's just going to solve anything that we have inside parentheses. So let's say I had 9 times 3 plus 14. Then I'm just going to hit this button and it's going to expand it, in other words, solve it. And we now get our final answer there. Another cool tool that we have, if I were to type in, let's say we have x cubed plus 2x squared plus x plus 1. Okay, so we have this expression here, and I want to know what the derivative of this is. I can click on this button right here, and it's going to give me the derivative. Similarly, if I have this selected and I want the integral, I can click here and it's going to integrate the expression for me. So these are two really nice tools when looking at calculus. Then the last thing we have, this will solve any equations that you have. So let's say I have y equals, let's say, 2y plus x equals 3. I can click this here and it's going to solve it for x. So anytime I have an equation plugged in and I click it, it's automatically going to isolate that x and solve it for me. Another nice thing about this is you can also use it as a graphing calculator tool. So now that I have this solved for x, if I wanted, I could click this and it's going to plot lines for me. So even if I type in y equals 2x plus 3, I can plot those lines. So just another nice thing you can do with this tool. That's about all I have to show you with CAS today. This is just a nice feature for students trying to simplify things. If the point isn't to do it by hand, it kind of simplifies the process for them. So thank you so much for joining me again.